All right. Well, welcome everybody. I mentioned before the CRO Live Lab is a product of me being in the industry for 20 years when MySpace was the only social media platform anybody talked about, doing basically shopper behavior analytics. So my whole background is in data analysis. When paid media entered the picture, everybody used all their data analysts to look at paid media data, and then we stopped looking at websites. And not only did we stop looking at websites, we stopped what actually never really got a true start, which is CRO. And a lot of people are doing CRO. There's a lot of new tools after Google Analytics pulled the plug on their free tool. But the thing that we find as consultants is that a lot of these CRO programs don't have a science-based program. A lot of times, like, I'm just going to test a backlog, or this template is available in the tool that I bought. Let me try that. But our stance here is that it isn't just about testing a backlog. We're not here to guess which template is going to work best for your company. And if some of you are doing that, you might find that you're running into challenges in understanding why things lost or won, or maybe you're finding, for those of you who are testing, that a lot of your tests are inconclusive. And now what, right? And so having a real plan for how to run a CRO program. So whether you're here just like starting off, whether you've been testing and spinning your wheels, whether you've been testing for 11 years, like I saw somebody in here say, I've been doing this for like 25 years. Hopefully you find, oh, you're blind in your own business. I get you, Ollie. Like, don't look at Clickvoyant's website. So I know what that feels like. So welcome in, everyone. I'm going to first take it and introduce our guest today. One of my dear friends, Kristina Toth, is here. Kristina, I will let you introduce yourself. Tell us about what you do every day and why you're passionate about experimentation.
Good day. I know we have folks from all over the world today, but I'm excited to be here. I am Kristina Toth. I've been in the digital world on the brand side for over 12 years, and I'm really focused on the digital experiences and pairing it with brand storytelling. So I've led a number of website launches, one of which I am working on right now, anywhere from a startup, brand new brands, to Fortune 100 brands. Most recently, I'm working at Hannaford. I lead the digital team at Hannaford Supermarkets up in New England, the Northeast, which is part of Awful. So I have deep food knowledge with a ton of PDPs, over 100,000 SKUs to new brands that we're really trying to focus on that customer first journeys and connecting and converting customers from e-commerce and direct to consumer perspective. So really excited to be here from a brand and consumer perspective.
And one thing to note, Kristina and I are going to be in a podcast. If you guys are familiar with Elevar, we've been invited by Elevar to be on a podcast where we talk about why we should be testing through Black Friday, Cyber Monday. A lot of people don't like to do that. They're like, code freeze. Yes, and Kristina, I don't know if you can change your mic, but it is a little bit faint. Thanks for pointing that out, Ollie. But, do try to tune in. I will find a link to that and throw it in the chat while we're introducing our next esteemed guest, Ina. Ina, please come to the stage and talk about what you are doing in your business.
Hi, I'm Ina, the founder and CEO of AddGlow. We take static photos on brand websites and turn them into video with AI. And those videos can be used both for the brand websites, but then also for paid ads. And then prior to starting AddGlow, I used to work on the product management side, on the software side at Walmart for a number of years. And my most recent teams were the last mile team, and I led product for online grocery delivery pre-fulfillment. So yeah, so it went from big retailer to now startup software.
I know that feeling. So Ina, sorry to pronounce your name incorrectly.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Ina has, if you, I mean, it is kind of for a bigger brand product, but know this about CRO: when you introduce motion into your website, people have to look at it. People have to. Why? Because biologically, if you don't pay attention to something moving, you could die. And these are the kinds of things that you have to think about in CRO, is like, people, you design your sites that you're just like, I'm going to design this for the very rational thinking human being. And the truth is that most of the decisions that are being made on your site are being done subconsciously. And so when you're thinking about the kinds of motion that you can introduce to your website, particularly for those of you who are selling something that does kind of need a demonstration. And when I say demonstration, like anything from a bed linens to a apparel, or seeing how nails look, or how even like in Ollie's case, like a case fits onto a phone. Like these are things that you could be using motion to do, which traditionally sucks because you're going to have to pay for studio time and get that work. But like that's what Ina's product does, which is why I love what she's doing. All right. So let's get into it. Let's start with first, Sabrina Westcott and Max Profit Fitness. Are you here?
I am here. Hello.
You are here. Welcome in, Sabrina. Thank you for joining the community.
Thank you.
I'm going to pull up your website. Tell me about what's going on here. And you tell us about your business, what your role is, and what kinds of things you'd like to learn about today.
Okay, so the product that we are selling is the Max Pro, which is that device that's underneath the bench. So obviously we're a fitness brand. You can see here from the image. We, prior to this Labor Day sale, we had a video that was here on the upper part of the website that showed Shaquille O'Neal. We've worked with him as a partner. And so we changed it up to, because we weren't on sale then, but now we're on sale for Labor Day. And so we're actually in the process of changing the website from Labor Day to something else. Now I'm just waiting on my developer to update that. So we're a portable fitness device. So we're unique in the fact that we use resistance. It's not a band. And so we have the cables. And so it's a portable cable gym. So the problem that we find is that we're not like a Peloton, for example, where we have a fitness bike and everyone knows what it is. And so they go to the website and they buy a bike because you know what a spin bike is. So our problem is that we are trying to educate our consumer on what the product is. So we're hoping that, or most people have come to the website from paid ads. And so, or social media. So most people are familiar, but they still want to learn more. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate the consumer on the fact that this is not a gimmicky product. It's been in the wild. We've got over 40,000 people that are using it. We were on Shark Tank, and we've been on some of these publications down there. And so most of our traffic that we send from paid ads, we actually send to our promo page, which is if you click the shop the sale, that's the page. And so what we're trying to do is kind of balance this page, the promo page, with the home page to try to figure out where people want to land. Do they want to be educated first, or do they want to just go right in to see how much it is? So as you can see, it's not cheap. And so we're trying to sell the value of it. It's a heavy duty piece of equipment. We have good reviews. We've got social proof. We've got Shaquille O'Neal. We've got Shark Tank. And so we also have these bundles. So it's just this kind of fine line between selling just the flagship product, which is the Max Pro for $7.99, but we also have these accessories for upsell, but we don't want to overwhelm. And so our website, we launched in 2019 on Kickstarter, and then we started shipping in 2020. So we've been around for a while. And then as you can see here, kind of to add another element of complication, if you want to say that, we are introducing a new product, which is the product on the all the way on the right, which is the Max Pro Air. And so we've been trying, and that doesn't ship until November. So we're trying to balance that out, where we originally were showing more of that, but then we're thinking we're confusing people because it's not shipping till November, and our main product and our main, revenue comes from the Max Pro. And so we kind of downgraded that product to not be front and center or equal, I guess, to the Max Pro. And I'm head of marketing and have been with the company since the Kickstarter days. So I know, like you said at the beginning of this podcast or this meeting, that I'm very ingrained in the product. I have it, I use it regularly. I'm an avid customer myself. And so sometimes for me, it gets lost. For people who are just coming in and it's new, we lose that because, I've been with the product so long. We have a team, we're a really small team too. And so that is hard. We don't have a ton of investment and a ton of money to do all of the shiny things that like a Tonal and Peloton do. So we're trying to balance all of that out and figure out exactly what our customers want.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, let's kick this off. I think that's good. Kristina and Ina, do you have any other questions before we start taking a deep dive?
Yeah, you gave a great overview, so thank you so much for that. My one question would be, what would you say is the number one challenge that you have right now? So you've shared, a bit about the background, but the number one challenge that you have.
I think it would be on the education of the product from a value standpoint. So making people understand that it's worth the price. And how do we do that? By focusing on the value props of it. I think if that answers your question. There's so much range just as like but
on that same note, I think what would be helpful from a customer journey perspective, you mentioned that most people are coming directly from ads. I just wanted to confirm that. That's where your number one.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really, I would definitely push it over to Ina first from the ads perspective, because I definitely think that customer journey and understanding what's that landing experience in terms of education throughout the funnel is the most important. It's really that you can be pushing people to different pages depending on if you have your ads and you have top of funnel reach campaigns down to retargeting campaigns.
Yes,
you 100% would be pushing people to a different page almost entirely through that journey. So I think that's an important component where you're thinking about where are you pushing people depending on their education of the product.
And then also on that ads piece, I'm curious about what are the different ad types that you currently have, and maybe like another follow-up question to that would be if you said that the challenge is, let's say on the educational piece, understanding the value of, are those ads really conveying that value? So then people are coming in already knowing the value instead of still needing to be convinced. So since that's like step one in the journey, so curious to learn a bit more about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
if your ads are getting good click-through rate, but then you're seeing a drop off once they get to the site.
yes. So we have really good relationship, I guess, with Facebook, and that we do see really good numbers, and then we get good click-through rates, and then website, conversion rates low, or not where we want to see it or where it's been in the past. It's also hard. We launched in 2020 during COVID, obviously. So like we launched and then we had this like huge, boom of everything. And then, we're 2025 now, obviously. And so things the past 2 years are starting to kind of balance out. But we don't have a ton of money to put towards a ton of testing for ads. So what we found, what works best is we are our evergreen ads, which we have some ads that we turn on and off from years ago that still bring in good numbers and that we like, we run those, and they, like you said, Kristina, we do run them to different pages depending on what type and where they're at in the funnel. And so we just can't get super granular with the type of ads because we don't have a ton of budget to spend. So we're trying to take that budget and really like spread it out. But also like we haven't had luck with TikTok. We haven't had luck with YouTube. And so we're in this like Facebook, Instagram kind of hole where that's where most of our conversions or most of our traffic is coming from. But I know we're losing people on the website. And that's kind of, I feel like our ads are in a good place and we need to expand more from that standpoint of what like platforms we're using. And we know that, and that's a constant conversation that we have as well. So.
And let me ask you really quickly, like, so you're saying you're kind of toggling, and we're looking at this in mobile now, since we know most of your, your traffic is coming from paid media. It's typically this experience. And so you're like, I think what I'd like to do is look at this page and look at your homepage and start looking at the actual like real estate, trying to understand like some of the biases that we could be starting to tap into on both of these pages. So in terms of, first of all, this is way too late to be on here. I think you probably already know that. You kind of hinted at like waiting on my developers. Like that's hard, and in an under-resourced environment, it does that. But it is actually like it shouldn't be here. I'm going to move into the shop the sale though, because I do want to ask Ina, what you think about this treatment of motion on this page. So like, let's make the user journey, because, when we're looking at CRO, we're trying to like get in the minds of how people get here. So maybe they've seen your ad and your ad is like talking about the product in some way, and now they've come here and this is exactly what they see. So Ina, let's start with you. What are your ideas about this use of motion here?
Yeah, so I think the video was great. And I like when you initially mentioned the Shark Tank, I was curious about the visual. So I'd like that you have this. Yeah, one question I would have is that if there's an other video segment, because this loop that's happening now, a lot of it is the walking and the hug. So if there's a way to kind of focus more on them using the product. Yeah, I can type, but that's the one thing that comes to mind. Just is the hug, the walk and the hug, is that half the video? That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Right. And it's almost like you really just, you might even, get a clip that is actually, see, that product part is like the very small part. And like the as seen on Shark Tank is your hero here versus the product itself. And for these kinds of things, you might just have to flash that you are on Shark Tank and then get into.
You want to think about that the 3 second, you're assuming what is the key takeaway. This is a lot of text too. So your takeaway here is all in caps with Shark Tank. The subtext is the portable fitness for everybody. And then I think this would make sense on a PDP potentially, but it's what's the key takeaway? They should be able to skim it real quick. What is the main benefit of this of your products?
Yeah, in terms of the copy, I actually think that this is what you're trying to do here is you're establishing the use case, right? This is, to me, is saying the loss of or the bias of loss. I don't want to lose strength, mobility, and momentum. And then in your second piece, we're kind of picking this apart like a haiku. Secure yours now before the batch sells out. That's your urgency introduction. And then is your social proof. Join the 100,000 who train, blah, 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 blah. If I were you, I would definitely be picking these apart to see which one of them influences that first time customer acquisition more. Is it the loss aversion of strength and mobility? Is it the urgency and is this the time, is this the appropriate place to be introducing the urgency, or is the urgency more appropriate for your PDP, for example? And then, the social proof part here, although you've like leaned in on social proof on Shark Tank, and do you really need this to re-emphasize social proof, or can you stack a bias cocktail in a better way?
Okay.
I also would love to see Shaquille O'Neal. I know what Shark Tank is, but I don't know any of these people.
I'm actually the organizer, but I want to point something out because I actually have one.
Oh yes.
So can I explain why I got it? And then
yes, I would love that.
Well, I have a lot of smart equipment, and one of the limitations with these smart weight equipments is the amount of weight within a compact design. And that's your true differentiator, is that the cable resistance system and allows for significant weight that other mobile devices don't allow. So most of the other mobile devices are 40, 50 pounds, and yours is much, much different.
300.
That was why I got it, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
That is a positioning statement, actually. That is an excellent positioning statement. We are not the flimsy, cheap, 50-pound thing. This is not for people who want a cheap, flimsy 50-pound thing.
Yeah.
Like, what an amazing, wow, Dan. Surprise.
Yeah.
Added
Thank you.
customer interview value. Hey, this has been really great to get to know you, Sabrina. And normally what we do is look at a PDP as well, but in the essence of time, because you spent a lot, I think this is your actually first bottleneck, is this page. So we are going to have to move on. We're happy to have a follow-up meeting with you, but I am going to move on to another brand for now, but hopefully this has been helpful for at least this first bottleneck in your funnel.
Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all.
Thank you for being vulnerable. Appreciate you. All right. Next up is Mount Waddington's. Is Ollie here? Ollie or Oli?
Yes, it's Ollie. How you doing?
Ollie, nice to meet you. Come on
Nice.
up. Tell us a little. Where are you, first of all? Are you in Bali? What?
No, not Bali, but I'm in Whistler, Western Canada.
Got you. Okay. Yep. BC. That's I actually escaped there after high school to be a ski bum for a year. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was the same as me as well, but I got stuck here.
And then you accidentally started a business.
Well, it's not my business, no. I wish it was, but it's not.
Tell us about Mount Waddington.
Okay. Yeah, so we're a Canadian backcountry retailer. We have two stores, soon to be three. One in Whistler and one in Chilliwack. They're about 3.5 hours apart. Two very different markets. Whistler is a tourist town. Chilliwack is more of not so much of a tourist town. Lots of people live there, lots of families. So we're also a multi-brand retailer, but we specialize in backcountry gear. So that's ski touring, pack crafting, trail running, and especially in pack crafting, we are the people in North America that people go to for the information and the gear. So we have a lot of our brands are very unique to us. You can't get them anywhere else. And our stores, we have thousands of products. Because we have two stores, that's where our online is only recently become, we put it to the forefront of, okay, this is something we need to put time and energy into. It's typically just being a sort of dumping ground to just put it online and see what happens, because the stores just take so much time and energy. But in the store, people come to us because our staff are all doing these adventures and they know what equipment you need to be able to go and do this stuff. So a customer journey would be, they would come into store, I'm going on this adventure. I need help to be able to find the right gear. You guys have 5 different options. Tell me what's the best one and I can be on my way. But we don't have that experience on the website. It's kind of just, here's a bunch of products, do your own research maybe everywhere else, because there's tons of other places where you can get reviews and all that stuff. And then maybe they'll buy with us if it's available. So I think our goal is, how can we replicate that in-store experience on the website, where someone can come to our website because they have a trip coming up and they want to find a pack that is suitable for them, shop that, get the expertise, and then know that they're going to be looked after and taken care of after they purchase the product. So yeah, I think that's our challenge.
Incredible. I love it. I know where I want to see, I know what I want to look at next, but Kristina, why don't you start? Where do you want to go, and what other questions do you have before we start?
My one question, I know you said that your customers at your stores are coming to you all for a multitude of activities. Are you all known for or have a big following in terms of traffic as for a particular activity or product line, or is it a vast mix of activities?
Yeah, I'd say we are our most, like, what we're known for the most is pack crafting, especially in the Chilliwack location, because we have brands that we're the only company in North America that sells them. And also Sammy, who owns the company, and the manager down there, they are pack crafters, and you know, it's very technical, and we get people calling from all over North America because we are the people to get these boats from. So people will spend a lot of money on boats and paddles and PFDs because we are the people to speak to. We're not, we have a lot of other products like Fly, like you're looking at, and skiing and running, but I wouldn't say we're the specialists at those. There's lots of other companies who do a great job, and especially for ski, it's a tricky market because a lot of bigger companies like Mech, Backcountry, they order in such huge quantities and they have sales very often, and it's really hard for us to compete online. Whereas in store, we'll easily sell products because you can't get it anywhere else. We're the only backcountry retailer in Whistler. So if you come on your holiday and you need a pair of skis, you're buying it from us as opposed to somewhere else. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes. What are your thoughts so far, Kristina? Like I'm a gearhead. I fly fish, I ski, I skate. I mean, like all these things. And I'm the place where I go right away is like, your site is like a Shopify theme site, right? Like you picked it off the shelf and you put it on and you put your SKUs on there and you did all the technical things. And now it's time to merchandise.
And personalize. I think that bringing exactly what you just said, why do people come to you and why are you guys the experts? I think there needs to be an experiential part. You said, how do we bring this retail experience into the e-com world? I think that I do like how you, on the homepage, you have it categorized into different activities. I think you might want to go even have some kind of, maybe not social proof, but some kind of community building element very upfront, so they're not immediately thinking, oh, you were only a e-com site, or you're only here for footwear for trail running only. I think it's starting that journey in some way to really showcase that you are more than an e-commerce site. It's an experience. And I've pushed to you in terms of ways that you've recently incorporated, but I do think that that brand element, the branding component needs to come higher in this above the fold potentially in some way, even if it's on the global nav.
Yes, and do you know what we mean when we say above the folds, Ollie?
Yeah, the first section before you start scrolling.
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, like, and I think the thing that brings people to gear is the adventure, right? And so like some things like that, I mean, this product is great. I mean, I question myself. I question whether trail running is your hero product. When you put it on the homepage, like I do wonder about, if this creative that you have right here, first of all, where do you get them?
All of the assets.
Yeah.
We get them from brands. So the brands that we sell, they'll send a assets package, and then we have access to all of those. So we have tons of really, really good imagery. Just to give the trail running one, we change that probably every month, depending on sort of like a store-wide campaign. We just had a new pair of shoes come out, so that's why we did a trail running campaign. And also because our Whistler store just got trail running stuff in, which there isn't many of the places that do it, but maybe we don't. Yeah, what you're saying is we don't need to focus on that stuff. We should focus on like the products that we sell the most of.
I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? So you're trying to merchandise the things on the merchandise that you're trying to move. That makes sense. And I think what you're doing really well is, getting the emotion of the adventure onto their site, but also, thinking about like what is the motivation of the person who's actually mostly here on the homepage. So orienting to brand, I mean, I do think that there are opportunities for motion, for example, for some of these as well. If you have these images, and I don't know what the brands use limitations are, if you're allowed to, use AI to animate these kinds of things, but that could be something to draw an eye. But as well, I think you probably have assets too that are in store. Is there a social media product?
Yeah, I think if you go top left, it'll take you to our Instagram. Oh, you got it there.
Mm-hmm. And so, some of these things that I actually have to be logged in, but if you have, these there's a winning, but any of the in-store activities or any of the experts, that's where I think, actually, let me just make sure I'm sharing this, so that everybody can see what assets Ollie has. Oh, I can't log in. Okay, one moment. Here's Mount Waddington. These are the assets that you have access to that are actual people, and the community component of what you have is what you should probably be leaning on your site and that's the social proof, as we talk about, like people come to us for all these things that you're talking about don't really show up here in a meaningful way. So pulling together not only your beautiful imagery and the sense of adventure, but also here's everyone that we love and love us back kind of energy.
Okay.
What do you think?
Do you have examples of websites where you see that done well? I work quite well on an example, like a visual example, if you've got something.
I do have one. Do you ladies have any that you?
I'm just looking at a few sites now.
I think LL Bean does a great job with exactly that. They have a ton and very outdoors. So they start with a video in their hero of the gear being used throughout the experience, I think. And they have tons of categories. So depending on in terms of seasonality, but showcasing that they have more than just than just a platform to sell. It's also this community and expertise that comes along with it. I think shines through a lot.
Yeah.
And I just pasted a link to Rare Beauty on the homepage. When you scroll down, you can see they also connect their Instagram, but it's more in an aesthetic way. So you can see a number of their customers wearing their products. If you continue to scroll down, maybe a bit more. Yeah, there we go. So there you see a bunch of customers wearing the products.
And a lot of times these are all plugins that you can just purchase for your store to connect to your Instagram. The other one that I pulled up earlier is this 12th Tribe. I mean, ladies know how to get together, right? Am I right? Like you can see on our product detail page itself, they have this thing like Babes in the Wild, which is we call user-generated content. But as well, there's like, okay, here's more things in your feed. So I think that this actually does a really good, I mean, all the customer reviews that they have. And of course, like making it very social, your entire website. So whether it's on a product detail page, on your home page, like getting that user generated content and all the community and even the store personality on your site, you probably have these assets already.
Okay. How do you get customers to share content? What's in it for them? Do you offer something in return, or what's been successful for you?
You rarely need to motivate somebody if they really love the brand.
Right.
Yep. I think I encourage you to do maybe some social listening too, and engaging. I think engaging and starting with that community management piece where if you're on there, you want to encourage people to continue to speak to you directly on the platforms, and then in that you can showcase and repost their content, and I think that's where they're feeling a lot more of a personal connection with the brand. And we've seen tons of success at it in the brands that I've worked at where you connect it and then showcase it in other places. So it creates a sense of community and encourages others to do the same.
Okay, so just the fact that we would share on our platform, on our website, and social would be enough you don't have to, coax anyone in with gift cards or anything like that?
You shouldn't have to. I think that
Yeah.
if you feel, especially what you've talked about with the environment in the retail, I think there's components of incorporating that in retail too, is to encourage people to follow and engage and make sure that you have digital campaigns on social media that bring them back to this the omni-channel experience. So both in retail and also online. So there are great opportunities for you to have some kinds of, ways to give them exclusive access or other ways of in terms of customer loyalty. But
Yeah,
you probably know that with your customers.
You recently, I saw from your Instagram, had some kind of a contest. Well, and that's all content. If they're like posting to you or mentioning you and all of these things, that's all so naturally generated. Like, even though it's a contest for engagement. I got to move on to the next site, but
That's great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Hope you've learned a lot on this. Okay, so next up is actually Ari Soho. Is Maya here?
Yes, hi. I'm here.
Oh, hi, Maya. Who's with you?
I'm with my coworker, Susha.
Hello.
Well, thank you so much for having us and, looking at our site.
Thank you for your vulnerability. Tell us about Ari.
Sure. So it is a men's luxury, like lifestyle clothing brand, and it's based out of New York City, and it's been a brand since 2001. We have 3 locations, but up until about 3 years ago, there was really no emphasis on growing like an online presence and having a updated website with like trying to acquire new customers through online advertising. So this is like a pretty new thing that we are, working on and, getting through the marketing and all that. And we really trying to emphasize like through the site that we are an established brand and we do have a great group of clients. But so like, and we can justify the price point with like our craftsmanship in Italy and like, and those type of things. And yeah.
Okay. All right. Amazing. So another store, like click and mortar, omni-channel baby, starting to baby steps into the e-commerce world, and probably, everyone's attention is on like the click and mortar stores, kind of like you're in the same situation as Ollie. Ollie. Okay. What are your first thoughts?
Yeah. So first I would ask, what would be your number one challenge right now?
I would think that we have a pretty big collection. It's like a decent amount of clothing for each category. And I think for a new customer coming on the site, they might be a little like confused what the difference is between like the different styles, because they are very similar. And we name it in a way that like our clients would know, but so it's helpful for them when they go on the site and they want to repurchase a pair of pants. But like difference of materials, like we try to say in the materials and care and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think we have trouble with that and justifying the price, I would say, like to get someone to trust us kind of.
Okay. Oh, I see. We're talking thousands of dollars. Like, what's the justification of the price? Okay. I've also worked in a lot of luxury apparel, and I think it's tough when when somebody doesn't know your brand, right?
Yeah.
There's a trust that you need to do. What are some of the things that you see? Like, let's take a look at this collection page, for example. So I'm here. How are you getting customers again to get to the site?
We do a little bit of online advertising through Meta and Google, and then we have like a pretty like loyal newsletter that come to the site.
Got it. Okay, so the newsletter peeps already know, and the potentially like any of the paid media peeps weren't expecting it.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I mean, oh gosh,
one thing that does jump to my mind is video, because a lot, I would say most luxury brands have video,
Mhm.
either on the website, on the product pages, or both. That adds more of a luxury experience, especially since it's quite a high price point. So that's like one thing that really jumps to mind.
What about you, Kristina? What do you see on this product detail page, for example?
I think that there needs to be more lifestyle imagery within this. It's very stark here, and you want them to imagine themselves in an environment. So I think whether it's adding in motion, so a video with lifestyle imagery within that carousel, or that image stack, or and then also adding, I think, the craftsmanship. To your point, there needs to be a value proposition here, where it's very image. The entire site seems very focused on these high res images, which I think are beautiful, but it doesn't really tell much of the personality or story of the brand. So what are the reasons for them to believe in the brand?
Mhm. Yeah.
I would definitely incorporate brand storytelling and that, and what those key differentiators of in terms of propping it up in terms of the value here. I think it's definitely important.
And another question that I'm curious about, I don't know the answer, but just to raise to the group, clicking in terms of your merchandising, I noticed that when I click edits, then I see most wanted. So I'm assuming most wanted is bestsellers, but I'm curious if you have like under women, if you had a bestseller section under women, if that would stand out more to kind of get people to go to that page more. So yeah, so that's one thing that comes to, I don't know, I would go back to like, what's the problem? I don't know if this is a problem, but if a problem could be of knowing what people like the most, what people buy the most, that under edits, people might not know what edits are. People might not yet click that. And then it's wanted. If it's under women, it might be more obvious. So again, I don't know if that's a problem, but just kind of, that was kind of my reasoning of thinking. So it might be interesting to kind of look at the clicks, and if people want to know what people buy the most, that could help influence their purchase.
And edits might be helpful to put, if you're going to put edits, I would definitely do like a fall edit, some kind of on the homepage with that homepage hero in the fall collection. That's a great opportunity to incorporate video and then into a fall edit where they're looking at beyond that. I know that heroes are very tough with legibility and finding a text that fits on top of that, but with video it makes it a lot easier, and then it drives them to go experience more than just that collection.
And the two things that I'm hearing too are also like, okay, there's you know, you have a lot of people like treat their navigation as like, this is all we do, everything that we have in the store, put it on the navigation. But sometimes people don't think about their navigation as a merchandising opportunity, where like, for example, sale might be, you know, when you put sale in the top level navigation, you're teaching people to go shop there, versus maybe like if you walk into any store, the sale's all the way in the back, and then maybe you would put it instead here, like under your men's fly out, and then put the sale down here or something like that. And then that would leave room for you to play with what does edits actually mean. Because this is the other thing that we see all the time. The way we talk about our business is how we tend to comport the site versus how they talk about it. Right? Like fall looks, best sellers, these like, so those are the things like an edit, you know, is that how he talks? Is that how she talks? And so, you know, or, you know, other things can tend to upsell, like some things that you might find in the industry all the time. We see people bundling things with apps, and yet people say sets, they say sets, they don't say bundle. And so those are some words. And I also, I'm going to move a little bit faster through these, but I did want to share with you one other treatment that you could be thinking about as you see like how video works, like how they're using this to potentially roll over any of these, and also including some of that lifestyle imagery in your collection, so that you could kind of see, okay, am I the man? Am I him? Right? That's the question, is, am I him? And that's these like, okay, playing with these different kinds of treatments and product detail that Kristina was mentioning, both in, you know, either in video or in lifestyle to help him say, yes, you are him. Buy this $2,000 code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry that we're
Thanks, guys.
so much engagement here that I just want to make sure we get to some of the people who are here also. All right, Liz is up next with Hanro USA. Okay, this is a little NSFW. We're talking about undies here, so let's quickly, Liz, tell us about what your main challenge is. Let's start there.
Hi, so we're a 140-year-old luxury intimate apparel, sleepwear, and loungewear brand, known for our commitment to sustainability, both in terms of the longevity of the garments and with respect to the production process. And we're really well known for our different materials, specifically cottons. While we've been around 140 years, there is a sort of a startup feel, and especially when you consider the e-commerce channel. We just re-platformed last year onto Shopify, so we've seen significant growth year over year. And, of course, along with the extra traffic, it's expected to see, a little bit of a drop in conversion there. So really right now, I just want to make sure that we have our best foot forward and we're optimized, wherever we can be. There are a few different tests we've run in the checkout, as well as, with the navigation and different content elements on the site. So we do hopefully have a new tool that we're going to be adding to the shop in January that's going to really help us with merchandising and personalization and things like that. So here, what I would really love is if, you could kind of scroll the site and see if anything stands out to you in terms of low-hanging fruit or optimizations that really just jump out at you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing with the checkout that we are currently working on is if you have several items in the cart and you try to scroll, the background of the page scrolls. So this is in QA right now, to an enhancement that we are about to roll out probably this week. But it did seem like that was one of the issues. And then also on mobile, yes, you see. And so if you have many items in the cart, it kind of gets tricky. And our average age is 45. So we do have a lot of boomers as well who may not be as tech savvy. And most of our sessions are on desktop, surprisingly. And then also on mobile, we have an issue where the browser bar covers the checkout CTA. So that's also something they're working on.
Got it. Okay. So a couple things as I go through this, I'm just going to go ahead and rattle off this. It's okay with you because Kristina can't see it, just her work computer blocked it. I didn't see an add to cart on your collections page. So if I came here and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to, I didn't on collections, it's kind of, a lot of these are, they're not, this is luxury and it's not basics, but it's luxury, but they are luxury basics. And so if you just wanted to come in and buy like that new bra and do it and like select your size, you can look at lots of different sites. Old Navy, that's not your thing. They do that. I just bought stuff there for my kids and I'm like, add medium, add size your 10. From the collections page, I never had to go into the product detail page at all. That's one thing. And this cart too, I do see this a lot. Like you may also like, in my experience, in the cart is not as great as complete the set or add for a reason. Add it for a reason. Buy 2 and get 30% off, or buy 4 and get 1 more. So all of these, like, I think this is where we can start to see like tools allow us to add things in Shopify, or we get apps and like development, but it's like, let's think about the reasons to do things. I mean, you could even be like, you can play with even this. So you will see that you may also like is kind of like the vernacular of the day in all shopping experiences everywhere, which makes this kind of like not very special, right? You're a luxury brand. And so thinking about What is the reasons to add this other thing? And then what I'm doing here is actually taking into this quick view versus just being like, hey, add this in your size right now, because you probably need a black one too, right? So those are some things that I see. What do you see, Ina?
Yeah, one thing that stands out to mind, if you haven't looked at it before, I would take a look at Yotpo, Klaviyo, Shopify. They all have annual reports on how people make buying decisions. And one of the things that is every time is kind of one of the top is reviews. And the reason why I call that out now is I clicked on a number of your PVPs, and in the review section, I see the 0, that there's no reviews. So since I clicked a few and I saw that the 0 reviews consistently, and since you mentioned at the start that your brand has been around for a long time, so I would either remove, here there's a few reviews, but on a few others that so there's 6, but a few others that I looked, there weren't that many. So either have a reviews push or remove it. You could have a rule potentially like not to show the section if there's no reviews. I just think it doesn't look good to see the 0 reviews for top products.
All right, Liz, I hope that was helpful to you. I know that you're in the process of starting to work on some of these things. Definitely check back on when that's done. And then, maybe we get like a whole new set of people if you come back on another one of these CRO Live Lab.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely some things to improve upon right away. Okay. All right, Oli, how do you pronounce your name, please? This is our last one of the day, people. This has been amazing. We do this again in 2 more weeks, every 2 weeks. So if you're like, to get a chance to get in, we can put you at the forefront for the next test. Okay. Is Oli here still?
I think he said that he had to jump.
Oh, all right. So next up then would be NutriCanine with Jason. No problem, Maya. Okay, then Radio Controlled UK, you are up for the final. Take us home with your Radio Controlled website. Are you here still? Oh man, we're getting some drop-offs. All right. Let's see. Stevens, that's amazing. All right, well, let's dive into that. Let's first take a look at NutriCanine. You know what? First of all, these are our last 3 minutes. NutriCanine is not here. Are you here? I see this a lot on subscription-based products. So, Kristina, since you're in grocery, let's let you have the final word on some of these things. This is actually a subscription box tailored to your dog. What I saw at the beginning was it just doesn't say exactly, you can't buy it.
Yeah, I think the get started is not. I understand that it's getting started. I do think that we need to have some context before getting them straight into that journey. So so here it's join over 125,000 healthier dogs. I think that's where you showcase in the hero or in the top location what are some of the reasons to believe. Whether it's 125,000 is a significant amount, so maybe leading into social and some of the social proof and benefits for the dog, and especially what are they looking for? Why is your subscription model and your product actually going to be interesting to them before they? Because if you push someone directly into this flow, you're going to get a lot of drop-offs, especially if you're not asking them up front to put their email in. So it's probably there's no way for you. I mean, if you get it, you could retarget them if you're getting them from an ad, but otherwise you're not very likely to grab a lot of people initially without such little information up front.
I agree. If we remember, everybody has the attention of a fish, and we're doing this with our subconscious, they're going to come in and go 8 steps. Nah, I'll do it later. Right? And you don't want that. So especially if you're getting somebody net new to brand who's coming to this homepage for the first time. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sorry that we couldn't get to everybody. We will put you at the front of next week if you were here and you didn't get met. So please do in the next 2 weeks. And so I will email you just to make sure it can confirm that you can join. In the meanwhile, if you want to reach out to Ina and learn a little bit more about AI video motion making, Ina, where can they reach you?
Yeah, you can, I'll put my email in the chat, ina@addglow.com. Yes, you can just email me at ina@addglow.com, or the website addglow.com has the email capture, reach out on LinkedIn. So yeah, any and all work.
Amazing. And Kristina, I'm assuming going into grocery shopping season, you're probably not available, but she is in school, which is if you are interested in joining the behavioral science CRO class, I'm going to send that link out to everybody here after this call, but it is a place where all the recordings will be, as well as the past recordings, as well as the notifications and new test ideas in the community. So thanks everybody for being here. Ina, Kristina, you are incredible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My contact info here too, in case anyone wants to connect.
Oh my God, everybody take her up on that, especially if you're in grocery. Now it's in there forevermore in the recordings too. All right, everyone. We had a really fun time helping out here. I hope you have a wonderful season, and maybe we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye, everyone.